Hey, I am Paul Cher. I am the singer of the song Black Dahlia, and I wanted to give you guys a little insight of what that song's about and where I was coming from when I wrote it. Black Dahlia, of course, is written about the woman behind that myth, Elizabeth Short. The moniker, the name that the press, the police, and unfortunately true crime fanatics who became obsessed with her death really fictionalized this woman's identity completely. They took her real story and created a headline femme fatale that so many authors, screenwriters, podcasters, these self-proclaimed authorities on this unsolved murder of Elizabeth Short herself, they basically fetishized the myth of her name and her murder, really. And with so many people glamorizing her murder with these unhinged reaction videos on TikTok and all the other usual places, these experts get their information from these books, from decades of hubris and hype that the press has perpetuated for decades since the murder happened in 1947. These odd books, the ones that, I was there, or my dad did it. Like, really, dude, really? I kind of want to set the record straight on that, But there is one book that was published in 2025 by Eli Frankel, just last year, who gave Elizabeth Short back her identity as a woman, as a friend, as a sister, as a daughter. It really brought the story back to Elizabeth Short, the woman, and not the myth of this Black Dahlia that she's kind of stuck under. This book stripped away the fake gold paint of propaganda. I kind of like that because it is like fake gold paint. It's such a facade that these other books that focus more on the supervillain suspect that they have on their site and unfortunately her horrific torture and murder of Elizabeth. Instead, Eli's book gave back her voice to her own story with excellent research and fact-checking more than anybody else, even interviewing the woman that actually found Elizabeth Short's body in 1947 in that empty lot on Norton so long ago. He was the only person to interview her, and it was the last interview she ever gave. The book is called Sisters in Death, The Black Dahlia, The Prairie Heiress, and Their Hunter. The author, again, is Eli Frankel. Get this book. It is so good. I have it in hardback. I have it in audiobook. It is outstanding. So I actually heard the audiobook first, and I was so impressed with it that I had to get a hardback copy because I wanted to reread it. I wanted to absorb it just to really take it in. The book is really well written. It's that good. And in rereading it, I discovered that Elizabeth Short's legacy, her own person, was overshadowed by her murder. She was complex and naive, hopeful and took risks. And I learned so much more about her away from this Black Dahlia narrative, this archetype that the public has kind of created. I was intrigued by her real life, the people she came into contact with, who either loved her or who were obsessed with her. I was touched by her friendship with the actress Anne Toth, who was the only person who came to her defense during the murder investigations, the only person who talked about her character and that she was none of those things the press kept saying. Out of all of her friends, out of her boyfriends, those guys were shit-talking her and just talking about basically she had what was coming to her. She was, promiscuous. She dressed, like a slut. She had what was coming to her. And Anne Toth was the only person who said, that's bullshit. She was a kind person. She was real. She mattered, Eli Frankel's book made me get to know Beth in a way that I saw pieces of myself in her innocence and naivety, her too trusting nature in taking people and strangers at face value, never considering someone could be lying or could be a predator. Beth Short wasn't a stupid person. She was a trusting soul. And her predator used that against her. So when I finished Sisters in Death, these lyrics started to come to me. They started to come to me as I was trying to talk to her in a way. She was barely 22 when the murder happened. She's still a kid in a woman's body. Shit, I was that naive kid at 22 with tattoos and a mohawk, looking way more experienced than I really was, and I made some reckless decisions, trusting the wrong persons. But at 22, who hasn't, So that's what the song is really about. That's why I have that stuffed animal, that little pink stuffed animal, surrounded by the roses and the pavement alone and in my arms. It's a reminder that she was still a naive soul with a child's heart and trust. And the chorus saying pastel pinks and corals, it's referring to her real clothing. When her suitcases were retrieved at the Greyhound station, they were shocked to discover her clothing were all soft colors, pinks, lavenders, soft pastels. There was no black clothing, no sexy lingerie. But the newspapers and subsequent books all hyped up this film noir femme fatale archetype. I wanted to sing about what was really there in her belongings, what was really Beth Short. The locations for the video were at the actual grounds of the Florentine Gardens on Hollywood Boulevard and around the corner behind it at what used to be 6024 Carlos Avenue. That was the address of the bungalow that Mark Hansen, who also owned the Florentine Gardens, but somebody she stayed with Ann Toth as well as a boarder there as well. That's the grounds of where the bungalow is at. It's no longer there now. It was torn down years ago. It's now this desolate parking lot with a lot of problems. But when we recorded that Friday afternoon, there was nobody there. It was perfect. So this location was special in Hollywood for the short time that she was there. It's the only time that she felt safest in Hollywood with Ann Toth at this bungalow. It felt like home, and also a real friend. Ann Toth is there. So I also used the roses to be symbolic in this video on purpose. And I wanted to use the roses to be symbolic like breadcrumbs for Beth. To just follow the roses, these breadcrumbs, to come home. The location may be just a rough parking lot now, but when I laid down on that hot pavement, I have to tell you that area, those grounds, they're charged energetically. I was overcome with such emotion, a grief I could not quell, that we had to stop a few times because I had to weep. It was so powerful. It's a lonely place, but you can sense this energy that's there, that is very palpable. She wasn't murdered there, but it's a definite feeling of the past still being active there. Check it out. So that's what the song Black Dahlia is really about. It's from a friend to a friend. I didn't want to use the words Black Dahlia in the song because she's not that at all. It's just a name symbolizing her murder. She is Elizabeth Short. She was more than her murder. Even though the song is titled Black Dahlia, I wanted people to know what's about her and then hear it and then have some compassion and grace for this very beautiful and very, very brave soul. Get the book Sisters in Death by Eli Frankel. I cannot recommend it enough. It is fantastic. It is a masterpiece. It's the only book that not only connects Beth's experience, her life, and her murder to another woman, Leila Welsh, 6 years before the murder of Elizabeth Short, but it also celebrates these women's lives outside of the murder. It sort of celebrates their legacy, who they were as people, as sisters, as daughters, as friends. I can't recommend it enough. Get Sisters in Death. It's amazing. And thank you. Anyways, thank you for your support for the song Black Dahlia. It means a lot. It is probably the hardest song I've ever written. I wrote it with my heart. And I thank you guys for being so supportive of it. Like I said earlier, I consider it a message from a friend to a friend, even 80 years later. The full album comes out on July 29th of this year, which is also the anniversary of Elizabeth Short's birthday. I dedicated the record to her. It's sort of a birthday present to Beth, wherever she's at. Yeah, it's important. So it'll be out on the 29th of this month of July. Yeah, thank you guys for your support. Have a great night. I'll see you soon. Bye.